can surround myself with people that are better than me at something, then it's going to heighten my abilities, right? It's going to take me up a notch. My grandfather used to tell me, if you are the smartest one in the room, find a new room.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Thank you so much for showing up to the Provoke Coach podcast. Of course, as you know, I always have a special guest. And, they always say that, when somebody inspires you and they get you motivated and they pump you up and they really kind of hit those heartstrings really, really hard, you always want to share them with the world. So I have with me a very special guest, somebody that is a massive producer in this world of podcasting and really teaching the world through awesome production. I have with me a very special guest, Mr. Loren Michaels Harris. Thank you so much for being on.
Hi, thank you for having me. Listen, I'm silly. I'm like, okay, my lips are dry. Oh, you have some chapstick. And then I couldn't find it. And it was the perfect one there it is. This one, smooth like butter. This thing, on the other hand, it was like glue, and I was like, it's too late. I was trying to rub it off, and you caught me. So thank you. That's live TV. How are you? Thanks for having me, Clinton.
Yes, thank you so much for being on our show today. Wow, you got all sorts of stuff coming up. You have this huge event that's coming up, and I know when we were kind of coordinating this time, it was a little hectic, around these couple of weeks of preparation and really doing what you guys do best. And like you said, when we, were talking before the show, is that, we put on a show, and I want people to hear kind of who you are today. You're going to have followers that have been, following you forever, raving fans, but maybe some of the people that I'm connected with, they don't know who you are. So, could you kind of give us, kind of a rundown a little bit, Loren?
Well, yeah, I'm the name you see right there, Loren Michaels Harris, and I am really just like you, a fellow traveler. That's who I am first. And but I just happen to be one who loves that whole thing about purpose and being of service and just living the game called life on my own terms, respectfully and within integrity. And it wasn't always that way, but it is today. So that's who I am. I mean, I have things I do. I hate to say I do programs, just like I hate to say I do events. I don't throw events. I, with the help of others, create anointed experiences. That's what the power of We Symposium is. That's what the Next Impactor is. All of them. And so as far as the work itself, it is just really a culmination of following the 4 agreements. That's really what it is. It's purposeful because that's exactly where they lead you to what is purposeful for you. So that just means being of service, introducing people I love to other people I love, not coming into anything with an angle, being transparent and just listen. It's what it is. And just, being there, not always walking up with your hands facing the ceiling, give me some value and more value. I try to bless the way I want to be blessed.
Well, can I ask you a question? Because, I've been following you for quite some time now. And that's what I noticed is that and it's hard to do. Like, I'll be the first to admit that I am so animated that people can see an angle coming a mile away, right? Like, I have it written all over my face. But I noticed something that was, interesting with your coaching style, interesting with your production and all your work, is that it is intentional, but it's not an angle, that sharp angle close, if you will, if I could, would, or you do, I do, there's never any of that going on. Can you talk about that for a second? Because I think that's powerful in your coaching that I see personally.
Well, it is, it's like this, to thine own, Shakespeare hit it on the head, to thine own self be true. And that means true. True is like when a contractor says that this line is true, they mean that it's perfect. Yeah. It's as perfect as it can be for us to be humans or whatever. It is true. That line is true. Yeah. And so what it means is, I needed an accountability partner. Okay. Not just a client. I needed a testimonial, not just a routing number. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I wasn't about being a retail whore. Right. About doing anything for money because I didn't at first. You don't want people to pay you big money while you're beta testing, while they're helping you Helen Keller your way. They're honoring you by entrusting what in many cases is everything in their world to you. Yeah. So I just feel you bless in the way you want to be blessed. So you make it where it's accessible. You make it where it brings joy to their world. If you know you have a product or a service that is outside of someone's means, and it's going to bring more havoc, more chaos, more sleepless nights, more of what they're trying to get rid of, how can you in good conscience take their money? Yeah. And so it's a matter of just knowing when to gift, when what is enough, because everyone needs to have some form of skin in the game. So what I mean by accountability partner with the people I work with is I make a promise to them. The reason the Power of We is what it is today is because, and all of my brands, all of them, is because I knew not to try to do it by myself. I would have called it the Power of Me Symposium. And we probably wouldn't be no t-shirt. I'll tell you that much. When nobody wore it, no one would want to wear it. Let's put it that way, right? Right. But here's the deal. When I say to them, my motto, my mantra in my coaching is you do the work and I promise I'll provide the stages. So that means any magazine that I'm in or on, they can get in and or on. Whatever, because I believe when you build relationships within purpose and you build them to be of service and you build them so that if other brothers and sisters, other travelers who are beside you on this journey can come through that same door, why wouldn't you? Because how did you get to where you are?
Well, because, I guess I gotta ask you this, and it's, I guess maybe more of a phrase than a question. So, I noticed that about your coaching. You use the words "we" a lot, and you just talked about in all of your brands. And I've noticed that similarity in each one of the brands that you're involved in. Can you talk to people a little bit about what does that mean? I know what it means. Some of your followers probably know what that means, but what do you have right now going on as far as these brands, and how is that connected?
Okay, here's the thing. Picture a tree.
Yeah.
So Loren is the trunk. The roots are the highways and byways of journey.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so many different ones. They're like neighborhoods, they're like seasons. They're relationships. They're, I don't believe the universe makes mistakes. I believe the universe makes it interesting.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I don't look at mistakes like mistakes. That was when it was really interesting, because look at what happened. It forced me to pivot, or it knocked me on my ass.
Right.
So, right. And so I learned how this game is played for me. And that is knowing the difference between when the pivot part, those are decisions, choices, where you have to respond like a ninja. I didn't say react. And I was very reactive for a lot of years. Respond means you've looked at it, you know it, you're a ninja. And then so that's like, let's say if it was an amusement park ride, it would be the scrambler, that silver ride that goes like this, waving at everybody. Hey, I'm on a scrambler. But purpose is like the tilt-a-whirl. You're inside this thing, you like blinders, you can't see anything there, and you're boom, this thing pulls you back, holds you in, and if you don't go with it, the force, the natural centrifugal force of experience, and you try to wave at those people, I guarantee you, because it happened to me when I was 9, you'll walk around for a month like this with a crook in your neck.
Yeah,
because that's what happened to me. I was trying to wave beyond, hey, look, and then I learned, because that's like principles. See what that was? The crook in the neck is this, and then I'll just leave it at that. Principles. We cannot break them, the scrambler, but we can be broken against them, doing the wrong thing on the tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah, right. Moving in the wrong direction, when that force pulls you. Well, so I guess, how have you, incorporated this in the present day right now? I know that, you're coaching. I know that you host and you put on.
No, I didn't even answer your question, did I?
What's that?
Yeah, I think about it. I didn't even really answer your question, and I'm sorry for that. I just love this stuff so much. But
No,
that's what I was getting to, Clinton. It's branches. Brands are branches of things. And so you determine where your value is. That's here. So everything I put out is value-based. So Slam the Hammer, free mastermind. Every other week, has been for a couple of years. I took off some time during COVID because people were going through some things. We all were. But Slam the Hammer, free. P3, the Journey series. It's a paid program, but I have a 90-minute free preview every other week, and you can come 100 times and not spend a dime. Everyone is different. The people that are there, it's different, but it's a sacred and anointed experience. And so, how do you charge for something that you cannot contain? Joy, love, just a sacred space. Sacred space sometimes just means be grateful. It's sacred that people are coming there with the same mindset and heart set. And there's none of that, stupid bullshit going on. You can breathe for a second and feel like you have a place where you belong.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself, I know, because I was that kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and where do you think, for you in the future, I know you have, you do produce other things right now. And I guess let's talk about these kind of different layers. We know that you coach.
Yeah.
And we know that you have these, these masterminds, these one-on-ones.
Yeah.
But also you produce these awesome shows and these awesome connections. Talk about that a little bit.
Thanks. I do. Well, Thursday is the third Power of We Symposium.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of it. It's like a modern day Stone Soup story.
Yeah.
Where this thing is what it is today because of people coming the very first day.
Yeah.
Just like they do now, no matter what they have at home or in the bank or in the baggage or underneath the scars, no matter what side of the spectrum or they come to give. They think they're coming everybody the first time they come, they think they're coming just to support the kids. It's like, yeah, the world. That's one of those things you say to people. They go, oh, yeah. That's like here in the arms of the angels when the shelter people for the the pets, the Humane Society went in the arms of the angels. You stop, you're just stuck at the TV. Right. It's one of those things. Mention kids. Right. But when they come and the kids pour into them, and then they bring something out of them right there that they knew they had it, but it wasn't what they thought they were bringing to the potluck. They thought they brought a casserole, and then they opened it up, and it was spaghetti, right? What happened? Because that's transformation. Instantaneously, when you've been inspired, when someone says something or does something that makes you go, ooh. Yeah. Now, that's not something you hear every day. Tell me more. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you know.
So I know you have
on me. Let me just say that. I know you know it because you put that spell on me when I was watching your stuff at first.
Right.
And I was like, that's it.
Well, and I guess let me ask you, you have what, 7 presenters or speakers?
Well,
how many do you have at this event?
The interesting part. We don't even call the whole thing that because it's not a regular event. Everyone there is a participant. Okay. They're all there. That's how I refer to them. Power of We participants. If I brought out our run of show, you would see it says Power of We participants show up at 7:30 to get ready to walk the red carpet, because that means the volunteers. That means volunteer coordinator. That means the keynote. That means the registration table person. That means my coaching client who's doing the thing, or the breakout session people.
Right.
All of it. All of it. We even have some parents of kids who will come without the kids the night before, because it has like a Christmas Eve spirit the night before when we meet and we're in our t-shirts and we're putting the swag bags together and putting up the step and repeat and rolling out the red carpet, setting up the stage, doing the sound checks, getting everything ready. And that is, I'm telling you what's so important about that. When people are coming together and doing that, it is the spirit of community. It is the spirit of, you leave everything that's not serving you exactly where it should be, someplace other than where you're at when you're serving others. See, that's the thing, Clinton. Find things that force you to leave at the door those things that do not serve you, so that because look, you're going in there, you want to be poured into. The saying is, my cup runneth over, not my cup runneth out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
That's why these things are important.
Well, and this is what, your 3rd year of doing this event?
The 3rd. We started in 2018. The first one here in Chicago was a huge success. Then we went straight to Atlanta in 2019. We had high schoolers here in Chicago, because we let wherever we're holding it, we let that community decide what demographic of kids they want us to present to. Because in Chicago, it was high schoolers that year. In Atlanta in 2019, it was middle schoolers. They were having it the hotbed. And now we're on the other side of COVID, because 2020 we were going to go to Australia, was ready to set to go, and then COVID. So you're not going to leave the country yet, but we can still keep the spark alive. So we're back in Chicago. And now in this audience is middle schoolers through 24-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a whole new, you got kids who dropped out that were seniors when COVID hit. They got depressed, didn't get to graduate, didn't get to walk. All these things happen. There's a lot of casualties that are still walking the earth. Not just
of course.
COVID who passed. Right.
Wow. So where do you see this going? I mean, is this going to be, I know we were chatting, a little bit about this really growing. I mean, really kind of to the next level. And I would imagine doing, things that scale like this, that you probably have a lot of people interested in maybe helping them out in their community.
It's starting. There's there's every, this is a great part. See, community pot, Stone Soup story. We have everything from local manufacturing companies. This company's been here all this time, but they didn't know how to get the idea that we could use some paid internships here at this company. We didn't have a way to get in front of them. We're too busy keeping our business afloat. But how do we get connected to great kids who would take advantage of this opportunity and come back every year when they come home from school? So we are able to put them in front of each other. And all the way through, like UL Systems is in this year watching, and they've given us an MOU, memorandum of understanding, that they have the intentions of hopefully being able to work with us. We'll see. But they're here. They're in the house this year in a big way, and bringing lots of money to, got 9 universities in New Orleans, and they want to get these kids up here that are bright. Come down here and go to our schools. We can give you full rides. We got more money than we have kids, and you've done the work. Just give us a shot. And that's given something that is just precious, that is opportunity,
that education, that opportunity, that connection with people. I mean, it's not always the education, but it is the education, right? It's the surrounding education.
It's opportunity.
Yeah.
Every one of us can point back to where a major choice in our life boiled down to one opportunity.
Exactly.
You got to have an opportunity to make a decision. You don't get to make, it's not the same kind of decision-making process when you're running or you're hiding because, something's bad in your life. Someone, you coming from dysfunction or abuse or whatever. That's a whole different navigation system. Yeah. But when you get through that and you start honoring your scars and you're looking for that place where you're like, okay, where can I take all this where it makes sense to not just me, but a collective. And
I guess let's roll into that a little bit. Like, where's all this passion come from? I mean, is this stuff that you've experienced yourself as far as lack of opportunity, or did you not take advantage of opportunity throughout the way in certain areas? Or
no, it's not just, I wish I could take all the credit for that stuff you're mentioning. But I mean, I came through the foster system. And if people have seen it, if not, there's a Goldcast video out with a few million views on it. And it's called Lost or Found. It talks about how I had 22 mothers. And and that's not hard. I know kids that had hundreds. Seriously.
Well, and tell us what that is, because there's some naive, thoughts about what the foster system is and what it isn't. And look, everybody, I mean, that's like saying, well, everybody was brought up this or that. But what does that mean? When you say 22 mothers or even 22 fathers or how many families, why is that? What happens? Why is it that many? What happens with that?
Why does a tree have leaves? That in number? Because it just comes with it, is what all I can say. It's what, because, and I mean that in the nicest way, Clinton. And what I'm saying is, it can be a caseworker that doesn't give a shit. It could be a judge who didn't give a shit, should have got rid of a family. The third time, a kid had a broken arm or something in their care. It could have been, all kinds of things. You got the kids in there with you. That's like a little yard on the prison block a lot, because some kids come in there, they're born in prison, sent straight out into the system. Ain't never slept on anything but institutional everything. Right. And so, come on now, what do we expect? And I didn't come like that. My adopted mother died suddenly, and I wasn't even legally adopted. And so it wasn't legal. So I grew up. I was there from a few weeks old until 11, almost 11. And then when she died, suddenly I was known as Larry Dixon first. And they came in and just said, "Oh, hi, we're at state and and your name isn't Larry Dixon." And I'm looking at the people I've been around my whole life and always looking in other directions and shit. Right. Sorry, I cussed. And
that's all right.
And that was the beginning. That was the day. Wow. And that was the day I went in the system. And that was the first day I was abused.
Yeah.
That same night. In that first, and this was like a week or two after burying our mom, who it was just she and I in the house.
Yeah.
All her other kids were gone with college and stuff. So, you know, that was the beginning of it, and you get moved around. But as with everything, it's not all bad. You know, there was this was the riverbed being dug that the water that is my content today now flows through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it, and I'm okay with it. But I'll tell everybody it's the truth, and I stick by it. I'm not kidding you. I put it everywhere. Look here, right here. Living beyond our scars.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Living beyond them and honoring them. Because why do you think scars are what they are? Because I can look at you. Got any scars, Clinton?
Oh yeah, I do.
And when you look at it, if I say, well, "How'd you get that?" What are you going to say?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are sidecars. Yeah. That ride with our vehicle, which is this, because one day this is going to go. Put your fingerprints and DNA that let the world know who you are now. Guess what, people? When that goes, those won't mean anything.
Right.
Your story, that rides with your scars, can live on.
Yeah. Well, and that's important to say is that, people ask me, they're like, okay, so, if I tell them my story, growing up, they're like, their eyes get this big around. They're like, oh my freaking God, like, how did you survive, or how did you turn out this way, or how did you not? And I always kind of reflect back, and, there's two sides of it always. It's, you could either be pissed and blame everybody and cast, this blame out, or you could just absorb it and say, well, God, I think I turned out all right. Doing pretty good. Thank you for being raised this way, or thank you for the lessons that I've learned. And you said, enjoy your scars, those tell stories, live with them, embrace them.
Yes.
And that's such a powerful message that people, I think, need to hear. Not only just from you, not only from me, but they really need to be like, shit,
from each other.
Yeah.
We all have them. And if you don't acknowledge the ones you can see, you'll never get to that place where you start acknowledging the ones we cannot see, the ones on our minds, on our psyche, on our heart, on our spirit, right. And the good thing about a scar, immediately it's proof that there's a thing called healing.
Yes.
This scar, when this finger got cut at 9, it's still not gaping open.
Right.
I wouldn't even have an arm. It would have rotted off, and you know what I'm saying? But it healed to save the rest of the body.
Exactly.
And that's why we must honor our scars.
Yeah.
So that we can allow the things that are still gaping into the air and heal.
Yeah. And I guess, let me ask you, is that what really kind of led you into this direction of really helping others heal as well? I mean, how did that work? Because you went through the system, you experienced this, and you're right. There was probably tons of great times as well. We don't have time to talk about all the awesome shit that happened.
I can give you this one in 30 seconds. I can give you that answer in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It was, I don't take the credit for it. I'm telling you, because I'll tell you this. If what you believe to be God, or whatever it is that you ascribe to be higher, whatever that is, whoever that is, let's say, in my case, if I said God, and God wrote a book about the way our relationship has been.
Yeah.
That book would be called Motivating Dummies.
Yeah.
Because that's how I got here. Just really? You mean I can really have that?
Yeah.
Yes, you can, Loren.
Yeah.
It starts with the covenants we make with ourselves.
Right.
And it's a real thing. It is a real opportunity. And it was two things. This is what is greater than me. Ask me, are you interested, Loren, in finding the meaning of a beautiful human experience? And I said, yes. And they said, well, are you scared or intimidated about anything that it might take to have that beautiful human experience? And I said, most likely, yes.
Right.
And I said, but I'm lazy. Tell me the quickest and easiest way. And they said, keep these 4 words close. That's why I could just reach and pull it off.
Yeah.
When you don't know how to do anything, give whatever you believe permission.
Yeah.
By saying, thy will be done.
Yeah.
You do it no matter what it is you ascribe that is greater than you.
Yeah.
You give it permission. It knows when to pick up where you cannot.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it does bring you to a place where a beautiful human experience.
Yeah. Well, and it's a progressive flow state, right? I think because, you know, one thing that you said at the beginning of our conversation is that, you know, how do you dump into somebody when your glass is, you know,
bone dry
empty or bone dry or, you know, not overflowing? And the idea is that that's where a bit of selfishness, I think, comes in, is that in order for you to be able to give back that much, you got to dump a lot in yourself. And I know you're an advocate of taking care of not only your physical body, your mental state, but also productivity and just getting things accomplished and having a good time. I mean, that's, you know, that's what you're doing. You're vibrating pretty fast right now. You know,
I like the way you said that.
Yeah. Well, where does that come from? I mean, is there still something that I always say some, you know, people like yourself that are high performers and peak performers, there's always another brass ring out there that you just got to have. Is there something that is there that you're wanting?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's the brass ring that I want.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Seriously, you know why? Because as long as I have tomorrow, I can get up and do the same thing, wash, rinse, repeat. And that is, I get up every day and I make a commitment to myself and to what is greater than me, that today I'm going to bring something to the world that they've never seen. And how do you do that? People say, well, that's a pretty big boasting thing. No, it isn't, because that means I have to challenge myself now.
That's right.
Do something today that I've never done.
Yep.
I could take a piece of broccoli and make a boutonniere and go to the grocery store and say hi to 5 people and come home. I've never done it, and they've never seen it because I've never done it. One cancels out the other. Boom. Run the blessings.
Right.
Because once I do that and I say, there it is. Now what? They say, nothing.
Nice.
Here it comes.
Nice.
Still, you got a prize coming. It's called.
I like that.
I
like that, you know, because it is a challenging, right? Like, I think that, you know, and I'm sure that you deal with this with, you know, a lot of your clients and a lot of people that you connect with as well, is that not everybody challenges themselves on a regular basis. And I think that it's real easy to kind of fall into, you know, a bit of a comfort zone. I think we all do it from some way, shape, or form.
9 out of 10 people won't even get up and change the TV manually, especially now that it doesn't have dials, and you have to reach and go on the side and get they will let there be no batteries and it runs out, or let them lose it.
Yeah.
They'll walk around for 2 hours digging before they'll go over there, miss the whole show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I do. 100%. Yeah. Wow. That's fantastic. You know, I guess, you know, for everybody that's listening, you know, right now, or even watching, what advice do you have? I guess if you could give one piece of, you know, kind of final advice to people that are listening or watching, whether it's right now or later on, and it could be for business owners, it could be about, you know, for individuals that aren't business owners. It doesn't matter. Anybody that's listening that it could impact, what piece of advice would you have for them?
If you truly want to find your way inside your divine purpose, then seek it. I would say keep the promises wherever you find them. Indian folklore, Confucius says, Farmer's Almanac, hieroglyphics. Once upon a time, in the beginning. Wherever you go for story, the story is there because people who have lived their stories were able to leave a story. And I suggest the promises stay close. Remember, nothing formed against you will prosper, but it says nothing about weapons that we craft of our own and hand to the world to use against us.
Yes.
You know, just believe whatever you need is always within reach. Always, no matter what it looks like. Get rid of the whisperer, get rid of the dictator.
Yep.
And get with something that is going to serve you. If you do not address those things that do not serve you, and you let them run around like that boy on the big wheel in The Shining upstairs, running around unattended, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
You'll be serving them.
Yep. 100%.
So lay something that is not serving you down, so you can pick up that thing already with you that is there waiting to serve you, and just need your permission. Thy will be done. For real. Works both ways, y'all.
Yeah, it really does. 100%, man. Wow, we could be on here for a couple hours. I know you and I, so we're gonna have to do a part 2, and maybe I'll jump on your cast as well, and we'll just.
Oh, I'd love for you to come back.
And
we got to get you to one of the events so people can meet you in person. I know that that's a whole different experience, and I look forward to it. I mean that.
Yeah.
And I really mean that. And I want to say this to your followers and stuff, you guys. Listen, don't think that, go where your spirit is fed.
Yeah.
And I know that you find that here. So do yourself and the world a favor. Every time you hear someone looking for something that you already found and you found it here, tell them about it.
Yeah.
Tell them about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you being on. I'm going to have you hang around just for a couple minutes. We'll let everybody else off. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this, look, I posted all of the social media for Loren Michaels Harris.
Oh, thanks.
I have it already in the post. It's already coming live. Wow. If you like this, share it, of course, like it, leave a review. But always provoke positive change, especially in yourself and your peak performance. We'll talk to you all very, very soon.